I believe my own father is a manifester. And it's something I very much remember is whenever he eats food that he enjoys, there's this mm-hmm, mm. And I always thought it was kind of funny. Now I know why. When the mind goes into that sacral center and amplifies it, well, in the not self, it's horrible. And in the true self, it can be fun. It can be enjoyable. It can be amplifying the positive for the sake of positivity. Most of us enjoy having fun, right? Most of us enjoy smiling and laughing and having a good time. This is the kind of amplification that personally I enjoy. Because if we're not identified with it, if we're not taking things so seriously, if we can have a little bit of playfulness within us, then we can learn to dance on the waters that used to be our suffering. And it's bliss, it's joy, it's happiness, it's fun, it's love, it's compassion, it's consideration for the impact we have upon those around us.
My life. I have such a blessed life, eh? It is so easy for me to enjoy being me, being this manifestor. I mean, manifestors are here to have impact. It's not like we're useless. I've impacted beings all over this planet. We're not useless. It's not the point. We have the impact. But we have to know how to deal with the other. See, our impact is based on who do we influence. It's my favorite thing for a manifestor to think about. Right? Favorite thing for a manifestor to think about is you're contemplating something, whatever it may be. And before you do it, try to figure out how many people that's actually going to affect. Then you begin to understand what it means to be a manifestor. Because you see, we have a natural impact. It's natural. It's our gift. The very fact that we have these unusual, repelling auras, different from everybody else, we stand out. They know us. They see us. They don't know what to make of it. And we do, in fact, have impact. The reason the manifestors don't come to things like this, don't come to readings, is that we have no interest in ourselves. After over 20 years in this business, I'm still learning about me because it's not the most interesting thing to me. I'm a manifester. I'm not a bloody generator. I mean, generators, sit in the temple of, know thyself, which is wonderful, but it's not me. I'm not here to know thyself. I couldn't care less. Impact? Yeah, that's interesting. That's what a manifestor is interested in. Can I have impact? What kind of impact? Everybody that I've ever done a reading to who wasn't a manifestor, I always told them that the best things in life are just going to come to you. It's a great truth. It's wonderful. I mean, if there is an ideal, it is the pure generator. I mean, I can't think of anything more perfect. It's just perfect. All it has to do is just resonate in that response. And it is the classic example that the gods give and deliver, and life is sweet. But you see, manifestors, we're not like that. We're not the lilies of the field. We're not. We're warriors. I mean, that's what we are. The fact that we are now in retirement, forced retirement, doesn't mean that still isn't what we are. I like to see myself metaphorically as some gorgeous black stallion in a field that nobody rides anymore. The great stud put out to pasture. That's the manifestor. But you can still put on a bit of a show, eh? You can still have your impact. You can still have a good life. I mean, I don't care that this world belongs to generators and projectors. By the way, folks, you can have it. It's all okay with me. If you want to take charge, please, go ahead. Us manifestors, we're in retirement. We don't want to run the world anymore. We don't. We just want the world to stop bothering us. We would like to be left alone in our pastures to enjoy our lives. So what we do is we pretend that we're just like them. See, that's what I do. I'm really good at pretending I'm a pretend generator. At dinner time with my generator family, I go, I just pretend. If there is anything that I do, I say, I'm going to do this now. I let them know that I'm safe. I mean, if you talk to people who knew me in the first part of my life, I was always disappearing. I have the design of a disappeared person, which is what I was anyway. I'm the kind of guy who gets up and goes for a cup of coffee and never comes back. Okay? So now I pretend. I'm going to go watch a movie now, okay? I'm going to go into my own aura and I'm going to go watch a movie now, okay? Yeah, good. I pretend. And they think, oh, good manifestor. Nice manifestor. Not dangerous at all. We can trust this manifestor. Look how sweet that is. They're telling us what they're going to do. Ah, it's brilliant.
Dear manifestor, you are not worthless. You are not useless. You do have a purpose. You have a function. You exist. You are real. You are worthy. And the same goes for each and every one of you, whether you're a generator, projector, manifestor, or reflector. And specifically, you manifestors, I know you don't care about yourselves necessarily. You're not interested in learning about yourself. Or maybe you are. And if so, let me know down below. I'd be curious to see how different you are from Ra's perspective on what a manifestor is. And I'd like to invite you myself, personally, to that experiment of, before you make a decision, consider, how many people will this impact? How many people will your behavior have an effect upon? Who will it have an effect upon? Consider letting them know, especially if you care about them and you care about your relationship with them.
The biggest problem I was having was getting my head wrapped around all of the content and all of the information held within the human design system. Ian really made it simple for me to engage my curiosity, for one, but made it approachable enough to where I felt like I could immediately get value out of the conversation and immediately start applying things to my day-to-day life, where it didn't seem like some big puzzle I had to solve. It was an immediate solution to something that I was dealing with in my life. How am I going to apply this with any sense of reality? And he made it so simple and so easy that I have now been on another 1.5 years since that first meeting with him and my first introduction into human design. And it has really given my overall life experience and the quality of my conscious experience a great boost, and overall something I would highly recommend to anyone else that's early on in their years, or even months sometimes, like I was at human design.
I've been following Ian for about 1 year now, and I got the chance to work with him recently. The way that his knowledge of human design expands when you're in his presence to fit what you need exactly is something that is a joy to work with and a joy to see live in person.
Oh my gosh, this session was so unique because Ian really made it feel like I didn't have to worry about expectations. I didn't have to have a certain outcome be a certain way, and really helped me understand that I could just kind of ease my way into this. And he was so conversational about it that it felt like I looked up and the time had gone so quickly that I wasn't expecting it to be as much value as it was for as easy as it felt.
I definitely recommend getting a reading, getting a chance to work with Ian. He's one of the kindest souls I've met and has a really firm grasp on the information in human design. Definitely recommend.
I would recommend working with Ian for anyone that is wanting to have someone that will be both there to nurture your curiosity about human design and the fun things that you can explore about it, but also will challenge you and push you in a direction that will get you up and moving and using it in your real life. I think more than anything else, if you want to not just mentally know this system, if you want to understand how to apply it and use it and see immediate results, Ian is the person I would recommend for that. I think it is important for people to remember that this is an experiment. It is not something that you can try without trying. Like you can't get the flavor of something unless you've chewed it up and swallowed it, right? And this is one of those things where Ian does such a wonderful job of making each thing that you're experiencing understandable and allows you to apply it with repetition. So it's not just a one-time thing. You learn how to build really good habits and how to build really good ways to honor your own authority in your own life. And from there, he lets you go and then you can fly. It's pretty remarkable how well he sets up my overall experience within human design for the purpose of changing my life, which it really did.
I know it might be difficult to truly care for the other people around you who may not necessarily care so much for you, or it might not always feel like they do. The nature of having a closed off and repelling aura, personally, I'll never know. I'm a generator. Everything around me is within me. I'm not like this dense bowling ball just rolling down, ready to knock down some pins. And so I invite you to take that into consideration, to find out, to figure out, to consider who your behaviors will impact. And to practice that experiment of sharing with others. I'm going to go do this now. Just like Ross said, simply around the family. And that notion of playing pretend, I personally find that hilarious. You can hear the sarcasm in his voice when he talks about eating food with the family and making a pseudo-sacral satisfied sound as a result of the food. I believe my own father is a manifestor, and it's something I very much remember is whenever he eats food that he enjoys, there's this And I always thought it was kind of funny. Now I know why. When the mind goes into that sacral center and amplifies it, well, in the not self, it's horrible. And in the true self, it can be fun. It can be enjoyable. It can be amplifying the positive for the sake of positivity. Most of us enjoy having fun, right? Most of us enjoy smiling and laughing and having a good time. This is the kind of amplification that personally I enjoy. Because if we're not identified with it, if we're not taking things so seriously, if we can have a little bit of playfulness within us, then we can learn to dance on the waters that used to be our suffering. And it's bliss, it's joy, it's happiness, it's fun, it's love, it's compassion, it's consideration for the impact we have upon those around us. Do you have to play pretend? Well, no, You don't. You don't have to play pretend if you don't want to. Of course. Your own inner authority is the only real, true, reliable mechanism for making decisions in your life. And if it doesn't feel like a good idea to inform other people, then I invite you to experiment with that as well. The key here in human design is trusting the inner authority within the being. And if you can trust your own inner authority, regardless of whatever type you have, personally, I believe that inner authority will bring you towards your type strategy. This is what I've found in my own experience as an emotional inner authority generator or a type. Is that by waiting for clarity, it is in the moment of response that I can see the next step. Because, I've been asked a question. I don't know. I'm not sure right now. And then later on, I'm asked again, and perhaps, hey, now it makes sense. Now it's clear. And by trusting that, so much in my life has changed. I couldn't even imagine where I am today from where I was simply a few years ago. If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.